Welcome back to A Cozy Space with Tatiana Elizabeth. Today's guest is just so near and dear to my heart. I've known this beautiful, phenomenal woman for almost maybe like 8-9 years at this point. We both are models, content creator, influencers, whatever that word is, it girls. Mariama is one person that I feel has inspired me in this industry, and I can give her flowers. We've been mistaken for one another a million times. We've been on set together, and I feel like we formed a genuine friendship and sisterhood and bond through those times and just on our own. So I'm just so excited to have you here. She also is a designer and owns the brand Reality. Check that out. And she's acting now, like just so many things. It's just been so beautiful watching your career flourish and just watching you just evolve and just be everything, you know? So want to give you your flowers and start with that.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much. No,
Girl,
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
Like, we go way back. So
Way
I think
back.
it's nice. It's time we sit down.
Right?
And
But I feel like
talk
this is
and yap a little.
I feel like, no, it's crazy. People rarely see us in the same setting because the unfortunate thing about the industry, and I feel like we're going to get into this, sometimes it's like one or the other. And I feel like we've been friends behind the scenes for so long. And I feel like we rarely get to like be together and be on screen and be on camera together. So this is so fun to be able to sit down with you and chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So with that being said, what is one way that you feel like you found your sisterhood within the modeling industry? I know it's like a little weird out here sometimes, but what's one way that you feel like you found sisterhood within a crazy world?
I'm so grateful for my time modeling.
Yeah.
I have been able to create friends that I'm still friends with 8 years down the line, like you.
Yeah.
And I remember the first years of my career, I went to Cape Town. I'm still friends with the girls there.
Yeah.
I have friends from all over the world. And it's been beautiful to be able to build that sisterhood. I think no matter what the industry has and their ideas, that's never been my ideas and a lot of our ideas. So we've connected no matter what. So I'm grateful. I love the girls that I've met. I think it's very important to have that sisterhood, especially in the world like we are, because sometimes your friend is the only person who's going to tell you, actually, you're not tripping. You should advocate for yourself. You should do this. They're the only ones having a similar experience as you.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful. I feel like I've made so many great friends, and they're all over the world, and I can call them at any time. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I personally just love like linking up when we're in different cities, or you might be in New York, I might be here, you might be in Paris. Now I'm in Paris. It's like, hey girl, what's up? And I feel like it's just such a beautiful thing to have built connections that stand the test of no matter where you are, what you're doing. Like we have our roots planted kind of in the same space of the industry, but I feel like we're in the industry, but not really of this industry. We've created our own little lane, and I feel like we're aligned with that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing. I think the way to have longevity in this is to actually know what you're doing and have this mindset of community. Because if you don't have the community, it's hard to stay afloat in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because it's an industry that makes you think that you should be alone. But in reality, having the community and the sisterhood is what gives you that longevity when you feel like maybe giving up. Seeing your friend, you're like, you know what? Tati would know about this. Let me call Tati. Let me see you. Or like, hey, you're in Paris too. Let's do something. Just that collaborative mindset. I feel like I'm so grateful.
Same, girl, same. How did you get into modeling? Like, how did you start modeling? Do you remember your first shoot?
I remember my first actual shoot, but what's interesting, I started out modeling by acting. So I knew I wanted to act from the beginning. So the first thing I ever did was booking extra work. So I was doing extra work. I did like Hunger Games, I did Vampire Diaries, but I knew nothing about the industry because no one where I'm from does it.
Yeah.
So I was on like Facebook trying to find, and then I was
Model Mayhem. Were you on Model Mayhem?
I was in Model Mayhem, yes. But I remember I was doing background on the Vampire Diaries, and one of the girls told me about Model Mayhem actually. So that's how I started. I was on there, but it took me 3 years to get signed in Atlanta. So it was, for me, my career has been not one of a big break, but one of small yeses, little, I mean, there's no such thing as a small yes, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, like small
little
steps.
moments and small steps that in the long run led to a career that I'm proud of.
Yeah, for sure. And that's beautiful. You should be proud of it. Within that, I know this industry can be competitive, and I feel like a lot of times, especially as like a Black, brown woman, they try to pin us against each other, which I feel like is so annoying. What has been the core of why you remain true to yourself? Like, how have you still created genuine connections within that space that kind of tells us that like, oh no, it's only one of you guys, not all of them?
Like, from my perspective, growing up and doing anything in entertainment and anything in fashion was not even something I saw growing up, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was feasible. I saw no one like me doing this.
Yeah.
So when I first was in this industry and doing it, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're saying there can only be one of you. There are all these things, these ideologies. That don't mean nothing because I'm like, how am I here right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we kind of share that similar
where
sentiment.
I'm like, I'm just happy to be here, and
Yeah.
I'm not looking to compare. I'm just happy to even be in this space and grateful because where I come from, we don't get to do these things.
And where are you from? Let's let the people know.
Okay, I'm from Guinea, West Africa.
Wow. West Africa is in
But
the
I grew up in
house.
Atlanta, so a little bit of.
Yeah.
But it was just, I'm just happy to be here, and I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So yes, this is ideology. The only one of you guys can make it, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
Me neither.
You know,
because
because
I hate that people even try to put that onto us, that's how we should even think. Because it's like, I don't feel like that.
exactly, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't even know how I made it here. So it's like I'm not even looking how anybody else made it here.
Yeah.
Now that we're both here, let's talk. How can we get to the next stepping stone?
Yeah.
I think if you're
Amen.
going into this ideology that you're only supposed to be the big one, the only one, you miss out on so many
So
opportunities
much,
and so
yeah.
much knowledge, so much community that can actually help you down the road and help you build into something that can last into a career that's 5, 10, 15 years.
Because honestly, I feel like both of us, it's just some background, I feel like we were like at the forefront of brand trips, and we were at the forefront of that era of influencer marketing, the Revolve trips, the this, the that, and like just being in certain spaces that like as a Black woman, it wasn't predominantly us. So I feel like it was interesting for me to step into those communities and see how they helped one another, So I feel like for me, every time, say, the first trip I might be the only Black girl, then the second trip it might be 3 of us. I'm like, okay, like, well, let's talk, let's communicate, and I feel like with you and I, it would be like, okay, Mariama's here, okay, perfect. Like we could have our little moment in the corner and like, still obviously learn and grow with everyone else and like have the moments with everyone else. But I feel like as a Black model, as a Black woman, I feel like it's always just been so beautiful to be able to know that I have someone or I have people that I can look to and be like, okay, girl, I know it's a little taboo to talk about this, but like, how did you feel about that? Or like, what's going, like, I know that we were on a trip together once and we were able to sit and dissect and be like, dang, like this is a little messed up. I don't know if this is good. Not complaining because we're both very grateful people, but to be able to have a person that you can speak to. So I have to personally say like, thank you for being that person to me because I like to be that to other people. So it was good to be able to see someone else be that for me.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
No, I agree. I think being in this career for 10 plus years, like we both have been, we've seen so many changes.
Yeah.
We've seen so many movements start, stop, change. And I think being able to have each other and to be like, am I tripping?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not tripping, right?
Right.
You see this too.
Yeah.
It's nice. Just having somebody else that understands what you're saying and also help you.
Yeah.
I think having other people that are similar to call them and be like, how did you handle this? I know you've been in this situation. For example, you might have had to ask for more money with your team and say, I know that my other counterparts are getting more. How can I do this? So I think having the relationships and the friendship to be like, well, actually, girl,
no,
these people got budget.
Okay.
Just having somebody else that's a
Yeah.
friend to even have this conversation, because a lot of us are the first generations in this. We're not Nepo babies. Not
Yeah.
saying there's nothing wrong with that, but we're figuring out how as we go. We're figuring it out as we go. So having that friend and that person that you can phone and having that safe space to even do that.
Yeah. Because
You know what I'm saying? But having that safe
space.
space to do that, I think is very important. And I appreciate you.
Of course. Is there a time that you can think of where you have faced challenges or moments where you have had to advocate for yourself, whether it be like hair, makeup, check, budget? Like, what is something that you can share with people? Like, just a moment where you had to have advocated for yourself.
I don't know if I can speak of a specific moment, but I'm always advocating for myself. I think there was a time where I didn't, and each time I didn't, versus even if it's saying something like, I don't feel comfortable in this outfit, I've regretted it. So now that I'm in this point in my career with all these years, and thank God for the team that I have. I have a great team. We keep that transparency and open communications. I'm able to advocate for myself, and I do it a lot now.
Yeah.
But before, I was too scared.
I would be
was
scared
like-
because you don't want to come across as like the angry girl or like.
You know what I did? And I think that's how I ended up actually getting into the social media space. I would just do it on social media. So the way I even got big on doing Instagrams was when I first started modeling, I would want to change my hair. They were like, you can't do this hairstyle.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I'm like, let me show y'all.
Well, I'm on Instagram. It's my page. I'm going to do different hairstyles. They were
Yeah.
like, you can only do commercial. You can't
only do bust
this
middle
or
part.
something.
Yeah.
And I would just use that as a way of doing it. So I think it doesn't always have to be black and white when it comes to advocating for yourself. You can
Yeah.
do it in different ways where
Yeah.
you can get creative with it. But these days, I just speak. But I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I have the right people in the team that do it because sometimes you can't.
Because back it was hard. I don't know. I feel like I would kind of speak up for myself in small ways, or I would, even if I didn't feel comfortable speaking up with myself, I would be texting my agent quick, like, listen, my lingerie rate is this much more. They had me shoot one piece of lingerie today, and I shot it from 12:30 to 12:19. I mean, from 12:30 to 12:59, and I need my rate for that. And like, I feel like I was always in tune of like, okay, my worth. And I feel like that was like a big part of advocating for myself because it's just so interesting how people will try to walk all over you in this industry. And it's like, it's so important to advocate for yourself because if you don't, it'll just go over their heads.
Oh.
They're not thinking of you. You have to think of yourself.
No, that's true. And
Yeah.
then sometimes you don't. I'm like, I know we're here right now. We're saying all these things about advocating, but there's some times where you really don't know what to do.
At all.
Because I remember being at Fashion Week and going in the bathroom and crying because
Yeah.
I looked so ashy.
I've had
and
those
my makeup
moments
was
too.
so bad.
Oh, it's
but
so
the lady
bad.
was trying her best. It wasn't
Yeah.
even that she was trying to be mean. She was trying her best to do it, but they didn't
don't
go
know.
through the steps to hire the person that would be able to do this. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I know
Yeah.
you're trying, and I'm here for, and like no one, so
Yeah.
I didn't know how to advocate.
But in those
for
moments,
myself.
would you go in the bathroom and fix your makeup with your own foundation?
Oh yeah, I learned to always have my foundation. In
I had
my
to learn
bag.
that early on.
Yeah.
I would be like, that is not me. I don't know who that is.
I learned that.
I'd be like, that was Mariama. That was not me in that shoe. I'm just kidding. No, but
So
definitely.
apparently, I'm the one with the bad
There'll
makeup.
be times when in the beginning of my career, I can look back and be like, oh my goodness, my hair looks crazy. My makeup looks crazy. But I didn't know how to advocate for myself. And I feel like the check was the check. So I kind of disassociated myself from that person of that day. And I would just go do my job. And I feel like now it's such a beautiful thing to be able to have social media and have like an image for yourself because now I feel way more empowered to be able to speak up and say, she on there needs to match her on here and me in real life. And I'm not, you're lovely and you're beautiful and I thank you so much for doing my makeup, but maybe we can add a little bit more concealer. Like, and I feel like also too, it's a way to speak to makeup artists and speak to people to.
It's a way,
Yeah, it's a way. You can't just be like a-hole and like, just like walk all over. But I feel like there's a way to be able to speak to people to get, like to be like, okay, maybe we can add a little concealer. Like,
because a lot of them are trying their best. I don't
Yeah.
think no one's going in and trying to sabotage
Purposely,
you.
yeah.
I think it's either the person hiring didn't do their due diligence.
Yeah.
I don't think it's usually the person that's doing your makeup. I think they're trying.
They're
their
trying their
best. They're
best.
asking, and a lot of makeup artists are open. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, I have met one or two, but most of the times,
Yeah.
people do want to help and make you feel good.
Yeah.
So it's finding the way. I think it has to be a balance.
Yeah, for sure.
The mutual respect.
Yeah, I think for sure making them feel comfortable. It's something that just makes you feel super confident. Like, have you harnessed your confidence within this industry? Like, what makes you feel like super confident? Because I feel like you just exude confidence in all your
Thank
pictures,
you.
in real life. You just exude grace and confidence. So how have you arrived there?
Ooh, honestly, I'm so grateful for my mom and
Yeah.
my family
Yeah.
and my upbringing because I'm African. So this idea of being skinny was never glamorized in my household. So no matter what the industry is telling me, my mom is still like, you need to eat. Like, you're looking very, and I think I'm so grateful for that to ground me and keep me in the real world. And I have, like, I'm the oldest of girls.
Yeah.
So I think
And
knowing
I
that.
didn't know that about you. That
Yeah,
you
I'm
had-
the oldest.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, I was very, very aware and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to grow up with bad habits because this industry that I ended up putting onto my little sisters, I started noticing early on that they listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize my sisters listened to me till one day. Sister, I was telling her, it was years ago, I'm like, what? I said, oh, that lip, she had on lip. I was like, oh, you like your lips dark, huh? I said something about her lips. She's like, well, you said this is your go-to lip.
It's like, oh.
So now you watching my
Like,
content.
so you've been an
I didn't know.
influencer.
Yeah. But I didn't know that like
Yeah.
they were paying attention to that level of detail. Because I've
Yeah.
never said that to her
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
I noticed. So I was like, I have to make sure when I'm in this industry that I stay true to who I am, what I am, and that I also don't change this self-view. So I'm so happy that I didn't grow up with this idea that skinny wins or all these things. Because even though this is what the industry told me, that wasn't my foundation.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I hear you guys.
Yeah, and he helped me because
Yeah.
there's times where as you get older, you start gaining weight and like your body start changing. And I was able to embrace my curves and be like, ooh,
Like,
versus like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, freaking out. And don't get me wrong, I did have teams and agents freak out, but I was always so deeply rooted in the real world. And I'm like, this is a job, this is a career, this is something that I do love, but it's not my whole life. It's
Yeah.
not how I want to be perceived fully. So I think having that foundation really was a blessing.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. I think same, especially like, I'm not African, but I'm African American, and I feel like just in our community,
You're black.
Yeah, I'm
You know
black.
we have-
Like, I
you
know
know
what I'm saying.
what I
But in
mean?
our
We have-
community, it's like, girl, you too skinny, and I'm like, it was always kind of a balance of, okay, I'm good where I am, because if you guys are telling me I'm too thin and you guys are telling me I'm too thick, which one is, I'm just going to do me, because I'm not living my life to please and appease you people. And either way, I'm working. So I'm just going to work. I'm going to work with who wants to work with me.
And our bodies fluctuate.
Exactly.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay not to look a certain way all the time. Like, it's not a realistic thing. So
Yeah.
the moment you accept yourself and you realize, hey, my body's going to fluctuate, my hormones, so many things are going to change. But
Yeah.
as long as, one, I know how to get back to where I feel most confident. That's all that matters.
That's what it is. It's the confidence.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, I know where I feel the most confident. I know if I'm not there, I can go back to it. But that's something that I made for myself, not the industry.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it has to come internally in a way.
For sure. But I feel like it's such an interesting time now, because the modeling world has like evolved so much over the years. It's way more diverse now. It's way more inclusive now. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing. I guess we're both like applauding the changes that they've made. But do you think that the industry is getting better? Do you think it's the same? What are your thoughts?
You know what's interesting? I've been in this industry for going on like 12 years. And I've seen it change. I've seen the change digress as well.
Yeah.
I've seen it go through so
Peaks
much.
and valleys,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know where we are right now, but also I think I don't know where.
I feel like in 2020,
I think
2020 was a good year.
but then it was also a lot going on in 2020, right? We can't say it was just a good year, because that comes from a cause of a lot of dark.
As far as
people wanting to make movements,
Yeah,
but it's like a
did it
short-term
stick?
movement. Now
Yeah.
we're here 5 years later. Where
Yeah.
are your initiatives? Are those initiatives really real, or were you trying to make sure you weren't getting canceled?
Exactly.
So I think right now we're in this very interesting place, just overall in the world. But
yeah.
I have seen changes, I will say,
Yeah.
from before. I think it's a lot more welcoming. But I do feel like there's still a lot
It's a
of
little
growth.
bit of performativeness that I feel like exists.
I think there is. And I think, you know, even in 2020, what we were saying, it wasn't about the forefront, because people are casting the forefront to look diverse. But who is doing the casting?
Yeah.
Who's behind the scene?
Yeah.
Who's the head of marketing? These people need to understand and sometimes be.
Yeah.
So then it's like your intention.
Yeah.
Why are you just hiring these people because you want to look this way?
Right.
Or you understand, well, if we're actually going to advertise silk scarves, we should understand why people use silk scarves,
Yeah.
why they're doing this.
I feel like it's been up and down. I feel like for me, 2020, I was kind of out of commission. Just had a baby. So I was just like watching like all the initiatives, all the diversity initiatives. And I was like just proud to see that my peers were being more included. But like you said, I feel like it's just interesting to have watched some of those initiatives fall off, or like, you know, like it's like, okay, what is the intention behind this? Because at the same time, as like, we don't want to just be used or just be pawns. Like I want to go where I'm celebrated, like thoroughly. So I feel like it's just definitely interesting to have watched. But I feel like overall, there have been small steps, but I'm just like, okay.
There's a lot of room for growth.
A lot of room
So,
for growth. A lot of room, for sure.
Thank you, but like...
More. And then also, too, it's like you said, okay, now you're hiring more Black models, but okay, hire a Black makeup artist or hair. Like, all those things are so important to make somebody feel comfortable and confident, because you can't look at this person as being difficult, or, oh my God, we couldn't shoot with her. Her hair was hard to work with, or this was hard. But it's like, well, you didn't hire the right people, boo. So, like, maybe next time do that, for sure. Yeah.
Speak on it.
Okay. Because I'm like, it's been so many times where I've had to bring my own flat iron, bring my own curling iron, bring my own makeup. It's like, I should be getting a hair rate, a makeup rate, a model rate, a styling rate, all the things.
No, it's crazy because I feel like a pre-requirement of being a Black model is knowing how to do your hair, your
Yeah.
makeup, your
Yeah.
set, everything.
Everything.
So it kind of comes with it.
How was the transition for you from modeling to like creating content and posting and like kind of doing that? Well, like what would you say content creation has outweighed modeling, or which one do you prefer?
Well, what's interesting is, like I said, I started creating content years ago because of an outlet from modeling. I feel like modeling took away my voice. So I used my platform as that from the earlier phases before, social media. And I was already, so when I started working with brands earlier on, I noticed there was an opportunity in this because a client would talk to me about doing a social media rate. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, I don't know about this rate, but then they will hire me and make me do TikToks all day.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, for sure.
Wait a minute. So, I knew that I had to make some kind of adjustments and change, but I just love social media because social media is not just based on what you do. No matter what you do, there's opportunity for you. And it also gives you control of your narrative.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. Like you were saying, how this girl is how she shows up, and I can show up that way in every way.
I remember the moment that clicked in my head that made me want to be a content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call it. I was on set for Dark and Lovely, and I don't remember what year it was. I was on set for Dark and Lovely, and Justine Skye was there, and I feel like that was like purple hair era Justine Skye, and she probably doesn't even remember this. Like we're cool now. I remember they dyed my hair. We did photo first. It was like a 2-month-long situation, exclusivity. I had to have my hair colored like a burgundy color. They dyed my hair, stripped my hair, dyed my hair, put this daggone box dye on my hair, stripped it red. Then I had to go back to regular modeling. So we had the first shoot. And mind you, we go to the shoot. Justine strolled on in, had her time, left when she wanted to, had her makeup artist, had her glam, her mom was there, like whatever. And then I'm like, okay, yes, girl, do your thing. And I remember I left, and then we had to shoot again a month later. In between that time, I had to still make money. I can't, in New York, 2017, I'm not making no money with red hair. Granted, they paid well, but we went back and they had to strip my hair and dye my hair all over again to film video. And I remember being I felt so powerless and like I had no voice. And I already signed this contract. I have to do this thing. But it's like, that didn't even make any sense. Like, why would you guys shoot the photo first and then the video, and you guys are trying to make the video as vibrant as the color that you Photoshop? I mean, no shade. Like but
it would have been easier to do it backwards.
It would have been easier to do it backwards. And I just remember like
music still grabs from videos.
I remember just being on set and just watching how Justine Skye was able to kind of like maneuver and say no to certain things. And it's like, okay, like, no, my hair's purple. Like, no, she came with her hair done and dyed, and like it was already ready. And I was like, I need to get on that level. I need to be able to speak up for myself, because I was voiceless. Like, my hair was fried, dyed, laid to the side, and they still wind up putting extensions in it and all these other things. But I just remember feeling so like voiceless. So in that moment, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to make a name for myself, because y'all not about to just do anything.
You know what's interesting though? I think as models, sometimes we're so used to that treatment that you didn't see. You had a contrast there.
Yeah.
That made you realize, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is something about this is off. Most of the times you don't have that contrast. So you think this is the way. They tell you to just go and be happy to be there. You can't really speak.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people tell me you're a walking hanger. Like, just
no, literally.
You know what I mean? So I think you probably didn't realize they're doing all this to my hair, but because somebody else was there, you saw, wait, there's another way of doing this. There's a better way of doing this.
Yeah.
And I think is that knowledge is power. And I think a lot of the people that did transition is learning, wait, I can actually speak up. I can show up as myself, and it's not a negative thing.
Yeah.
My personality is a plus.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, with social media, it's such an amazing thing.
It's such a beautiful thing,
The things that modeling would tell you to hide, social media would actually celebrate, and, like, it's your moneymaker.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you you.
Because I know you probably get these DMs all the time. What would you tell someone right now, right here, that wants to get into modeling in this industry in today's like in today's industry, what would you tell that girl that wants to start
Oh my
modeling?
God, I'm actually doing a video on this
Yeah.
on YouTube soon. I already have one from years ago, but I think it's time
To revamp it.
to revamp it. Yeah, so that's a great question.
Follow her on YouTube, y'all, for the full synopsis.
It's Mariama D. But basically, I would say one, know that it's possible, right? Know that this idea of what a model look like is not a real thing anymore.
Yeah.
No matter what you look like, no matter who you are, that's your superpower and you can make it. Because I think a lot of us stop before we even start.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing is to do your research. Look at the brands you like. Go on their Instagram. Look at their campaigns. What kind of models are they booking? Go to those models' Instagram. What are they posting? What kind of stuff? And then after you understand what you want from the industry and what the industry want from you, take digitals.
Yeah.
You don't need a camera. Literally look up
iPhone.
take an
Natural
iPhone,
light.
look up digitals. You just need a white wall, take some photos, and then submit everywhere. But in the meantime, don't wait for someone to answer you. Start using your Instagram as your portfolio.
Yeah.
Because you already know what the brands are posting because you did your research.
Right.
And you already know what those models are posting because you did your research.
Yeah.
And you have a whole blueprint that you can start.
Yeah,
So
nowadays they have the blueprint written
blueprint is
right
there.
in front of, and it's like, it's a beautiful thing. And it's like, I feel like you just have to literally be yourself, add your own flair to it, do what you want, put your personality out. Like, it's just such a different time in industry now that it's like, it's laid out.
It's great.
You can choose who you want to be.
Fashion, even with owning a business, because I think the great thing that the internet did is it took away some of the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gatekeepers in this. And
Yeah.
I think the fact that I can create my feed how I want, I can sign up and then I can find you and be like, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
I did sign up. And you might take that moment that you usually wouldn't. You
Yeah.
might take that moment that you usually wouldn't and look at my stuff, and I just might get a DM back that can change my life.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen years ago.
Yeah, because before it was just like castings or submissions online. And I feel like, how many submissions are these people getting? Like, how hard is it to even, because like I kind of started similar to you where I started on the commercial board of my agency. I wasn't like on the main board. I was on the commercial board, and I remember my agent, I guess she came across me one day because she was looking. It's like, wait, why are you on the commercial board? Like, you can be on the main board. And I'm like, I've been on the commercial board for a year, doing extra work, doing this, doing that. Like, thank you. You came and you got me. But it's like, I submitted to y'all. Y'all didn't like me. But now you do. And I feel like that's another thing too, is like not taking no for an answer.
Can't take no for an answer.
You can't.
It's an
Yeah.
industry of no's.
Yeah. And you have to remain
Why would
confident
you take
and
no
find
for-
somebody that's going to say yes.
It took me 3 years to get signed, babe.
Yeah.
3 years in Atlanta. And I've heard everything from those agents, from I have another black model to we have a type. And mind
have
you,
somebody that looks
none
like
of them
you.
look like me.
Girl, we going to
But
get
it's
into that
just,
too.
you just got to keep going. I think,
Yeah.
and that's one thing I'm so happy acting taught me of, because it's an industry of no. I've been acting, auditioning for 10 plus years. In the last 3 years, I actually started booking. And people
Yeah.
are like, oh, well, you're transitioning. No.
It's like-
I've been in class,
Yeah.
I've been doing this. But
And
it's-
that's crazy because I didn't even know that.
I've been doing, but it's one of those things, understanding you're in the industry of no, so you just got to get ready for when that yes come and be ready to work. You
Yeah.
can't just stop.
And maintaining your confidence and your grace throughout those processes, and just like having an urge to like learn and grow and like, move with the times. I feel like it's super important as well.
I heard something that really changed my perspective, and it was like, each no, you're getting closer to a yes.
Okay.
So when you get another no, don't be like, oh, I got to stop. Be like, you know what?
Keep like that wasn't
I'm
for
almost
me.
there. I'm almost close to find the person.
It's like that little meme that's like the guy digging for gold, and like he
Yes.
turns around and like
Somebody
the other
else
person. It's like, ooh.
Keep swimming.
Just
Keep swimming.
I'm crying. So like, let's switch gears a little bit. You have your own brand, Reality, and tell me about that. What inspired you to create Reality, and how does it reflect your personal style and your personal vision?
Oh my God, Reality. My baby. You know what's crazy? I love fashion. I love travel. So Reality was a mixture of those. But I've noticed after modeling for 10 plus years that we're usually the last thought when people design.
Yeah.
So with my brand, I wanted to design a collection that was for everyone, but had women of color at the forefront. So
Yeah.
I was very intentional with the colors that I used. Like when my first drop, the yellows, I had to make sure it was the mustard yellow that looks good on us, the
Yeah.
purples. I was
Yeah.
very intentional because I figured out with all the clothes that I try on and wear, I'm like, this wasn't made for us. So I really wanted to create something that was made for us, and two, that looked good, but you could also be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're on vacation, you're traveling, or even at baby shower, you don't want to worry about
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah,
and
if, like,
putting
your
the
boob
dress.
is popping out,
No,
or yeah,
like, you
for
want to look
sure.
cute, you want to feel good. So with me, I really want to make clothing that made women feel good, like genuinely made for the woman. It's
Yeah.
celebrating the woman versus
Yeah.
the opposite way. And I
Yeah.
think I'm just very happy.
What's one lesson in business and fashion design that you've had to learn the hard way?
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with having a business. You're still learning. I think I didn't realize how much I had to learn. I think that's my biggest lesson.
Is that
realizing, oh, I got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And being welcome to it, right? So if I would give advice to anyone, is just start. Like, we can spend so much time doing research, looking up, planning.
The sooner you start, the sooner you fall, then you get back up and you start again, and then you might
you figure it out sometimes as you go. And I think even with my business, I thought about it for years. Like, it was like a 3-4 years into process before I launched. And then when I launched, I'm like, I have so much
work
to
to do. No,
so I think the best thing is just get started. I learned that I have so much to learn, and I'm just still learning.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that. It's good to have that mindset of, I'm just gonna keep learning.
Yeah.
Because every day is different when you're a business
learning.
owner. You never finish learning.
Yeah.
And your business is its own thing and it's growing. There's always gonna be more goals.
Yeah. And I feel like I've watched interviews from people like on our level or on your level, like all the way up until the top. And I feel like they kind of all have that synopsis. And I feel like for me, being that I'm always in my own world a little bit, or like my reality is just my reality, I never really I never was like a podcast watcher, like, oh my God, like let me sit and like really take in what this person is saying. But recently I've been finding so much inspiration in just knowing more information about people in their journey. And I feel like it's just been way more inspiring to me, because it's like we all go through the same things, and there's someone who's probably $1 billion business owner that can have the same sentiment, the same exact thing. So it's so important to look out and be like, wow, we have so many like commonalities, no matter what scale or whatever, what page you're on. And I feel like that is like the common thing that people say, where it's like, just start, go for it.
Just start. You're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
What's crazy is when I was at your house, I watched like 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
Because like I'm obsessed with podcasts.
Yeah, no, I've been like obsessed recently.
And I was like, wait, she watches this one? But you know, my founder.
Okay.
But I think it's great. And just being a fly on the wall. Like, I was listening to a podcast the other day and I was like, am I supposed to be hearing this? Yeah. It was like the CEO of Dropbox talking about it. And as he's speaking, I felt so heard in the scene. But I'm like, you're at such a way bigger level than me.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff he was saying was resonating. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We're in the right direction.
It's so interesting.
Everyone goes through it.
Seek knowledge.
You know, I think it's also with social media, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So we only see everyone's best. So it's easy to feel like everyone's doing so well. Everyone's doing so much. And when you run a business, you got to be like,
reel it in.
Yeah. Just focus step by step. It's okay.
It's okay. Get back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
No, for sure. How do you balance being a model, content creator, and running your own business? Or is there a balance? Because I personally feel like balance is a myth. I feel like balancing should be the word, because something is always going to outweigh the other thing or whatever. And it's just like an ever-evolving process. So what is your process? Like, how do you remain sane and balanced enough throughout your multiple endeavors?
Honestly, I don't know if there's any balance. I think you have to focus on what you need to focus on at the moment and get ready for it. My day-to-day is so different. So what has helped me has been time blocking, putting in exactly what I'm going to do for this chunk of time, and seeing if it actually takes me that long. Sometimes it takes me way longer.
Okay.
But just realizing and trying to create some sort of routine. But like right now, I'm getting ready for the spring-summer collection. So everything is about the brand, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a time where now we have to do all the content. I can get back into the creative bag. I can get back into the creative bag, but even though they're seasoned, none of them really stop. So there's no balance.
There's no balance. It's like, this is the life we chose. You want to have a business. You want to be a model. You want to do this. You want to do that. And it's like, I feel like it's just such a beautiful thing. And I feel like for me, it's just like, I dedicated myself going into this new year. I'm like, okay, January, I call it Planuary. I'm like, I planned out every single thing because I'm typically not really a type A person. I'm more type B. It's
you
like,
can't be when you're a model when they're like, hey, can you go to this tomorrow?
Literally.
Yep.
But
Go to the airport.
I find that creating structure in the things that I can create structure in has helped me so much. And I feel way less like frazzled because I feel like I know you can relate to this, where it's like sometimes within our career, it's just like, you're so frazzled because people are pulling you in so many different directions. And it's like, now I'm like, okay, let me take the time for myself to do what I need to do. So when you're pulling me, I'm already grounded. I'm already at 0. Versus before, I might have been like, I'm already on 7. Like now I'm getting pulled to 12. And I'm like, okay, wait, I need to go back to 0. Like I need to go back to 0. And I've been like prioritizing that and making that a thing. And I feel like it's made me feel so much better, but it's a process.
Yeah, I think it's finding I love what I do.
Yeah.
Like I love every part of what I do. Right?
Yeah. The chaos is fun.
I don't know if I love the chaos.
I like the chaos.
Like I think as I get older, I love having some kind of structure.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love everything I do. Like I love acting. I love film. I love I love film, cinematography. I love that whole world. But I also love designing. I love the colors. I almost went to art school. So I got a scholarship for art school.
Okay.
And then last minute I was like, business. You know, I'm African. So I was like, you know
Your
what?
mom was like, art.
No, my dad's an engineer. So he was like, engineering?
Yeah.
I was like,
not too
graphic
much.
design.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I went business, so they were happy. But it's I love what I do. So
Yeah.
it's like, even though I don't love the chaos, I can spend hours doing this one thing. So I had to learn how to balance it and still be able to dive deep and give myself without burning out. So that's the
See, I might be a little.
Time blocking has been I have this planner that I just got.
Who's it by? Do you know?
I don't want to say the wrong name. I think it's called Daily Planner. That's been so great because what it does is you write down everything you need to do, then you write down your top 3 priorities, and then from there you time block everything that you're going to do that day. And then sometimes you don't get to it, but you can move it. And I think it's been one showing me how much I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I realize how much I'm doing.
No, it releases the happy hormone in your mind when you check off something, like when you're doing it. So I'm good for writing a to-do list. And the first thing on the list will be write a to-do list. And I'll be like, check, did that. Like,
Happy.
I feel like it releases something in your mind to be able to see all the things. And it's like, wow, it makes you really notice all of the things.
How much you're doing.
Sometimes when you're moving so fast, it's hard.
Yeah, you do so much. And to bring it back to the self-care, I started doing that and I was like, I did a lot this week. So on Saturday, I put in relax. I'm like forcing myself to relax. But before, I think when you don't really realize what you're doing and you're kind of scattered, before I used to do so much and still used to feel like I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah.
Versus now, everything's with intention. So I'm like, I don't need to say yes to everything, but a few things that I'm saying yes to, I'm making sure that I can show up how I want to show up and do it at the level that I want to make.
Okay, and that's important.
Without
that's
crashing
growth.
out.
That's growth right there.
You don't need to crash out.
Because, no, seriously.
And also I took a break from dating for a bit, which has been great, to be honest. I get so much done. But
is your break over? Are you dating?
I'm back. It's January, so I'm ready. You know, I think I started seeing all the flowers and stuff Valentine's Day. I was like, you know what?
It's my time.
I'm open.
Okay.
It feels cute.
Okay, so as a multi-hyphenate businesswoman, model, actress, all the things, what are you looking for in a man? Let's get into it.
We're going to talk about men.
Well, you brought it up. I wasn't going to.
Well, first of all, I'm not looking.
Period.
But honestly, someone kind. But I think the person has to be successful in their own way and confident. Because I think being a powerful woman, a successful woman, unless the person is confident in themselves at that level, it's hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not even that it's hard, but People
it
be
can be
acting
hard.
a little different. They
Yeah,
might not
like-
say they will, but so for me,
Yeah.
I really want someone who's confident, a partner to grow and build, because this is nothing.
Yeah.
There's still so much to get done.
Okay.
We
And
got
I'm
work
gonna
to
keep
do.
I'm gonna keep going. So
Yeah,
I
and I want a
yeah.
partner who sees a vision too. Someone who's godly, number one, but who's
Yeah.
also like, let's make a difference in this world. Let's change this world.
Yeah.
Let's leave it better than we came. Let's
Okay.
leave it better than we came and build something. So
Yeah.
I think having that mindset is very important. But
Amen.
I also love my life.
Okay.
I love my life.
You
I
like-
love my
you-
friends.
yeah.
I am enjoying it. So I'm not looking.
Yeah. I
But
feel
if he
that.
comes find me, I'm here.
you know where to find you.
No, find me.
No, I
Come
I,
knock on the not play.
I'm not looking.
Tati's a lover girl. So.
I'm a lover girl.
She's a lover girl.
But I'm not looking either. I feel like they be finding
They
me.
be-
I don't be looking. I be trying to hide, honestly. But I'm similar, where I just want someone who's just confident, comfortable, and just sweet and a nice person.
Sweet and kind. I think we're both genuinely sweet people.
Yeah.
And kind people. So
Yeah.
we need that. Because, like, I'm going to go out of my way for you no matter what. So you
Yeah.
kind of need someone who's going to do it automatically.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do it
Yeah,
automatically.
without
I'm gonna,
you having to ask. So.
Yeah, so
And it's out there.
amen.
There's so many great
don't-
men out
I
there.
don't agree with the scarcity.
I don't
mindset.
either. It's scarcity mindset.
'Cause
With
even with
anything
you-
in life, I don't agree. And there's
At
so many great
all.
men out there. There's so many great opportunities, and life is
And
only
I feel
a
like
reflection.
what I love about you, Mariama came to my house like maybe a month or two ago, and I'm like, we had this kind of same conversation. She's like, no, I'm taking time off of dating. I don't feel like it. I don't want to. I'm focused on myself. And I'm like, period. That's like so empowering, because I feel like so many women our age are just like scrambling, and it's like, girl, stop scrambling. You're not making me nervous, but like just keep that projection to yourself, because honestly, I feel like anything that's for me always finds me.
That's all it is, a projection.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, our brain is going to start showing us examples of what we think, what
Yeah,
we see.
yeah.
So,
So it's
like,
like
it's like if you want a new car, you're going to start seeing that car everywhere. So if you say and put the intention out that there's good people, good friends, good opportunities, good men, that's what you're
'Cause
going to
that's what got
attract.
us here in
That's
the
what
first place.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, God going to make sure I'm taken care of no
Okay.
matter what.
Okay, and I'm gonna pray.
I just got to make sure I stay the same person. So
Yeah.
when that comes, I haven't changed.
Exactly.
To become ready for these opportunities. But come on.
Amen. Amen to that.
That's how you know we're friends, when we just start yapping.
Getting into self-care and wellness. I just love wellness. I love self-care. I feel like it's something that just grounds me and that just kind of keeps me sane and together throughout all the chaotic moments. Do you have any pre-shoot like rituals or self-care routines or anything that you would like to share with our guest?
When it comes to pre-shoot rituals, I don't have any, but
Yeah.
I'm learning to start little ones. I mean, I'm always good at like making sure my skin looks good.
Yeah.
All of those things.
That's automatic,
but
girl.
recently, I've been trying to make sure that I'm in the right headspace, that I don't schedule my whole day before if it's an afternoon, or if I can work out in the morning, that really helps me.
Ooh.
But, I don't have a self-care routine. I
Yeah.
think I will one day.
Yeah.
But
Girl,
right now,
it-
like, I love it. But then I also give myself the freedom, right? So if I have a busy week, I will give myself, like, if I have a random Thursday off, I would sit down and enjoy being on my couch and
Yeah.
not moving and watching a show. I will watch reality TV and yell at this TV and just be so happy.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Honestly, I feel like self-care can seem so intimidating. And for me, self-care can be any pocket or any moment that I just kind of like choose to ground myself, whether it's like my car ride in the morning or whatever. Like, I've learned to kind of like minimalize the idea of it, because it's like, it's not going to be like I have a kid. It's not about to be a 30-step skincare routine every single day. Sometimes it's just like that morning talk with yourself, and like those little things that I find just make such a big difference. And yeah, like I feel like
The mindfulness. It's
Yeah.
like no matter what you're doing, taking that moment, that breath to fully be present at the moment. And ground yourself. I
ground
think that's
yourself.
what's been helping me.
yeah.
Just really being aware.
Yeah, because you're
And
so
meditating.
grounded and so graceful. Like,
You
I
think
do not
so?
believe that you
Think-
don't
I
have.
think I've
like,
been-
I think you have a ritual and routine.
I'm
and
looking
I
at
think,
one of my Sorry.
I think you have a ritual and routine. You just probably don't recognize it as such. But you are so grounded and graceful every time I see you, even on
thank
set
you.
and everything. Like, I feel like I'm a yapper. I'm going to be like, you are so grounded.
I'm a
and No,
yapper.
you're a yapper
Not
too.
too much.
But you are a yapper. But I feel like you're just so graceful. And I just like, yeah. I feel like you
Thank
definitely
you.
something's
I
happening
try
over
to be
there.
present.
Don't be trying
Like
to
I
don't be
try
trying
to
to
just
keep secrets from
no. I
us.
I really try to be present and just like
Yeah.
listen to people when they talk and be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think having that time by, like I said, I love being alone. So having that time by myself before to ground myself helps. That way when I'm working and doing stuff, because a lot of what we do is social.
Yeah.
Right? We can't
Yeah.
be,
You need to reset.
you got to be nice to people. They're touching, we're being touched, we're being pulled. So we kind of have to be positive. So I think because I have the time by myself before, I
You
can be
recharge.
present, I can yap, and I can have all this energy because I recharge in between.
Yeah, I feel that. So owning your own brand, how do you want women to feel when they wear reality?
Oh my God, I want them to feel incredible. I want them to feel like the world is their oyster. Reality is all about creating your own reality through fashion, through style, and using it as a way to express yourself. So
Yeah.
I want them to feel like they're that girl, no matter where they're going, and that they can do anything, and
Yeah.
that they look good, and know that they look good, and they're unapologetic about looking good. So
Amen. So what can we look forward to in spring, summer for reality?
so much.
I know you probably have secrets. I know you don't want to spill it all,
Oh
but
my
like,
God. No, I'm very excited to be
Yeah.
honest, because we've done a huge rebrand. So better quality. You know, our quality was already amazing though.
Okay,
You know,
not too
you
much.
support.
Yeah,
you
I
wearing
support,
us.
I
I
have it.
appreciate
Okay.
you. But better quality, really different designs from us. Still the same silhouettes that people love, but
Yeah.
so much more flowy pieces.
I'm
I just
so
moved a lot
excited.
of the production to Turkey as well, so I'm
wow.
very excited about just like the new quality. Yeah, I can't really say a lot.
Yeah,
A lot
of
of
course.
like
No, we not.
backless moments.
Okay.
A lot of
So get in the
sexy
gym
but
now.
classy.
Get in the gym now.
You know.
How has your personal life kind of reflected into your brand? Like, what is your design process? If you don't mind sharing a little bit, like, how do you even come up with the concept?
So I think about the customer and the girl, right? What is she doing? Where is she going? Where does she vacation? I love to travel, so I
Yeah.
think you can see that in the brand with us
Yeah.
being a resort inspired collection. So I'm like, where is she going? Where would she wear in Morocco? What would she wear in Morocco? What would she wear in Dubai? What would she wear when she goes on vacation?
Yeah.
Like to brunch, to lunch, different events. So I think about her, and then from there I design. And most of the times I'm designing somewhere tropical, which I'm grateful for. So I
Yeah.
take a lot of inspiration from nature. Like
That's beautiful.
one of our last collection was an ode to summer and the sun and endless summer. So I tried, like, the dresses were based on sunsets
Yeah.
and things like that.
So pretty.
And I'm so grateful. I'm so
I love
excited.
it. If there's any advice that you could give to any younger girl out there that wants to start their own business, what would it be?
Do it.
Okay.
It's hard. Yes,
hard.
but I will say if you can't do it, it's worth it because you have something that's your own. And if it's not just starting a business, collaborating with other business owners to learn everything before you start is very helpful. But the main thing is keep going.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you don't stop, your business hasn't really failed.
For sure.
You just got to keep
just
going,
gotta
and
keep
keep
going.
pivoting.
Yeah.
And things would happen. Sometimes as a small business, unfortunately, bigger brands will copy. I've had this happen to me where
Yeah.
big establishments have copied designs and things happen where I was like, do I just stop?
Yeah.
Now that you've made millions off of this.
Okay.
But it's like you just got to pivot, keep going. And when things like that happen, know that you're ahead of the curve, that you have something that they don't have. So just create and build a community around you that can help you achieve this goal. People that understand your mission and your vision, and they can help and add value to it.
Yeah. With that being said, touching on that a little bit, I know a decent amount of our career kind of was like e-com or working with some of the brands that might now be ripping your brand off. Because for me, when I would be working with those brands, I would just be like, oh, wow, I would have friends like creating clothes or designing in the process. And I just would have such a torn heart. Oh my goodness, like this brand is providing a check for me. This brand is like, you know, I'm working with this brand, but I'm also seeing how they're ripping off small brands, women-owned brands, Black-owned brands. It's just like such a crossroads. Do you still work with those brands? Have you ever? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think the timing was very important with me. I was already transitioning
Out of that,
and doing a little more of the social and different types of brands, which
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful for because it did cross my mind. What would I do now when the hand that feeds me bites me?
No,
You know,
literally.
but I was already not working with them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was a scary thing to call them out, but I did. I was like, it's not right.
Yeah.
And then it's seeing how often they do it, and it's like, now in this now where I am in my career, I do have a choice with the brands that I work with,
Yeah.
and I can make the decision based on what they're standing for, especially in our political climate right now.
Yeah.
I'm very aware, and if I'm going to support you, even if it's you're not copying from me, what you're doing and your brand and your
Copying other
ethics
people.
is something that I'm going to look at.
I would shoot e-com for some brands, and I would see certain things, and I would be like, okay, now I don't want to shoot with y'all anymore. But I'm like, I for sure am not posting for you guys. But you know, back in the day, during those times, it's like, okay, like I need to pay my bills, so I might shoot a little bit more e-com. But even with that, I eventually had to transition out of it. But it just was interesting to see, and I'm happy that I was able to also stick to my guns and like never promote certain things, because it's just so interesting how these brands don't really, some brands just don't really care about us, and then some brands do, and it's like, I'm gonna go over there with the ones that do care about me. I'm gonna promote those. As a content creator, I know there are probably times where you've had to like say no to certain things. What has that process been like for you? I feel like you've stayed true to yourself. So,
I do. And
yeah.
I feel like for me, it's not even the social media part that's hard. It's the acting part, because I've been given dream roles with dream directors and different stuff, but there's nudity in it. There's things where I would be full frontal and have stimulated sex scenes, but it's also the same project. It's with the biggest director and producer right now who's made all of my favorite shows. So I feel like I've been at those crossroads, and I've really had to stand my ground, where
Yeah.
it's like, I can see what I want right there, but at what cost?
Yeah.
You know, and having to say no to things that I'm like, and then seeing what it did to the people that did book them. But for me, I'm really big on at what cost.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm on this journey with me and God, and I just want to make sure that
You're walking
in and being authentic to it. And it might take me longer. It might not look like a lot of other people's, but it's still my journey, and I'm going to honor it. And that applies with social media, with everything that I do. I try to make sure that if it's not aligned, that it's not worth it.
Yeah. Wrapping it up with like kind of an ode to self-care, what is something that you do or use to just kind of keep you grounded or give yourself that little self-care, cozy moment?
Okay. I love a hot cup of tea. I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah,
but
no, it
to
does.
hold a tea mug and just, you have to wait for it to get cooler. You know,
Yeah.
it just really puts you in the present.
Yeah.
And then something warm. I think I love that no matter what I'm doing. I could journal. I love journaling, but I could be journaling, painting, no matter what I'm doing. Having a tea,
Yeah.
like pouring the
I'm
tea,
gonna
having
try
the
that.
honey, and just sitting there, it's so grounding and it feels so warm. It's like a hug.
I love
So that's something I've
that.
been adding to my routine that, like, it's been helpful.
To
And
ground you.
Yeah, and even if
Yeah.
it's things I'm like, I don't want to do, I start the routine with the tea. So then I'm excited. I'm like,
I love that.
okay, now I have my tea, I can get to work.
Girl, I'm about to go get me some tea.
It's so nice,
I love
right? A
it.
tea, a journal, a nice bath.
Well, something that kind of grounds me is just having my little self-care, skincare ritual and everything, putting my robe on. So I got you a little gift. I got you some skin butter, and I got you a robe.
Thank you. I was just smelling this one too. So yay!
Yeah, that's just something that keeps me grounded through everything. I'm just so thankful to have you on the podcast as a guest. I'm just so appreciative of you. I'm so proud of you, and I just love you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, this smells so good.
Yes, girl.
Yes, I'm
Which one? I
excited.
got you strawberry
The
cocoa.
strawberry cocoa.
Yes, that's one of my faves.
It smells so good.
Thanks,
Well,
Mama.
thank you. I'm so proud of you as well. And I'm so excited. It's been an honor to know you these years, and I can't wait to see what you do in the next years that I know you.
Girl, tell us where everyone can find you on socials.
You can find me on Instagram at Mariama and at Mariama.mov on TikTok and Snapchat and YouTube. And for the brand, you can find us at reality.co, and that's the Instagram, the TikTok, and the website.
All the things. Go get you some.
Go get you some.
Thank you for coming, girl. Thank you for watching, guys.